So let's start with edges, and let's just determine what the difference between a loop and a ring is. If you double click an edge, it's going to select the loop. The loop is basically a connected line that goes all the way across a mesh. As long as your mesh is clean and has only 4 edges going to it, it's going to connect all the way around. An edge ring, in this case, if I select an edge and then double click holding down Shift on an edge above or below it, you can see it selects this stack of edges. This is our edge ring. So those two methods are my main ways of selecting edge loops and edge rings. You can also use a context menu. If you hold down Control and Shift, it'll pull up these edge ring utilities and edge loop utilities. So I'm going to go ahead and select all the loops from these edges. So if I go to my edge loop utilities and go to edge loop, click on that, now it's going to select all the edges around the mesh, as long as like I said, the geometry is clean. This also works with faces. I can select on a face and hold Shift and double click on the next face below it, and it's going to select the stack of faces. I can also go to the side, double click on the side and holding down Shift, and it's going to select more. And I could continue this and select as much area as I want here, just holding down Shift and double clicking on the adjacent faces. This works for deselecting as well. If I hold down Control and deselect a face and keep holding Control and double click the next face in the sequence, it's going to deselect that entire sequence. So I could do the same for over here. You can see, and it'll deselect that. So another cool way of making selections is if I select, let's say, 2 faces side by side, if I hold down Control Shift and hit the greater than or less than symbols, it will grow and shrink a selection along an edge. So it also works, of course, for vertical. So these are a couple different methods for making quick selections, which is really handy for getting detail into your mesh quickly. Okay, let's go ahead and recap. So first off, we defined the difference between loops and rings. Next, we looked at the edge loop and ring utilities from the context menus. And finally, we looked at some hotkeys we could use for even faster selections. Okay, everybody, good luck and have fun.